Elders is a fairly new group. We started about 2 years ago. The Council of Elders started out as an organization wherein we wanted to make sure that we could facilitate a process of keeping our children out of the system. Children 8 to 15, we wanted to keep them out of the system. So we had different organizations, our Council of Elders. Our Council of Elders, introduce yourself, Freddie.
My name is Freddy Romero. I'm with Colombo American Foundation. Thank you so much for trusting the process.
Gary.
My name is Gary McFadden. I'm an ex-homicide detective from Charlotte Police Department.
George.
George Fitz, LH Bi-State Youth Foundation.
Maria.
I'm Maria Macon, Executive Director of the Council of Elders, and I run a nonprofit business setting up 501c3 nonprofit organization.
I am with Genesis Project 1. We do mental and behavioral health. Scott, tell us, introduce yourself. Scott.
My name is Scott Ellis. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've been working with the Council of Elders for about a year and a half. And I lead the Know Your Rights. And Know Your Rights is about black and brown people who get stopped by the police and have interaction with the police, so they know what to say, what not to say, what to do and not to do, so that they don't catch a case or get shot.
Taisha.
Hi everyone, I'm Taisha, and I'm a rehabilitation counselor, and I've been with the Council of Elders for about a year and a half as well. And I just kind of do whatever I can to help.
Mr. Ellsworth.
I don't get a chance to do this. My name is Ellsworth Beth. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Council of Elders, about a year and a half. I'm a year, 7 months. Love helping out the community any way I can. I'm a volunteer, I'm serving at heart. If you need anything, holler at me.
And your organization is?
Oh, organization, Gentlemen Are Us. Teach the art and ways of young men, starting young, the art and ways of being a gentleman. Everything from why we walk to the outside with this lady, to opening doors, to, yep, there you go. Give me a call. I'll come to you. We're mobile. Any questions again? Going once, going twice. Got a table set up over there. There's a $100 bill over there if you like. Or did you take that too?
You can't take it to the bank.
No, you can take it to the bank. It ain't gonna do nothing for you, but you can take it. Thank y'all for helping me.
Well, with the Council of Elders, you see we're different organizations wherein we wanted those young folk to come by us instead of going to jail. We can offer them different services. We offer them different avenues as a second chance of going to the system. But as we found out that so many of our children are already in the system, so we couldn't really do a lot. So our focus went to expungement, and we've done a lot. We're really the premier organization to help individuals with expungements, and our executive director, Maria Macon, along with Freddie, setting up that SWAT system where you registered in May. And we wanted to get back to you to let you know what's going on with us now as a result of some idiosyncrasies that we came up with. And we had you on hold since May, and we didn't want to keep you on hold any longer. So we wanted to give this info session to let you know what's going on and how we're going along with the process of taking care of your expungements. And we will be doing what we need to do and let you know where we are now. And we didn't want to keep you on hold any longer. And Maria will let you know where we are now and how we want to help you, and we'll continue to do the expungement process.
Thank you, Sylvia. Y'all must didn't have any Calvin coffee over there. Okay, I'm Maria Macon, the Executive Director of Council of Elders. There are refreshments over there for your coffee and snack. But we wanted primarily to let you know what's happening with your criminal record and with the process, so you know what's happening. Currently, there is a law, and hopefully I have attendants that have passed that information out.
No.
Do you have that? Okay. The governor signed into law August 18th a new bill which reduces the time you have to wait for your criminal record to be expunged. Currently, prior to December 1st, you have to wait 15 years for an expungement if it's a felony. You have to wait 10 years for an expungement if it's a misdemeanor. After December 1st this year, it's 10 years if it's a felony instead of 15 years, and 5 years if it's a misdemeanor. Which meant at our last expungement clinic, we turned away 69 people because their time hadn't expanded yet for them to get expunged. We now have to go back and bring those 69 people back in, because they now qualify. That has been a delay for you because we did not want to have to turn away any of you because of time. So we made the decision, we as a council made the decision to wait until after December 1st when the new law came in. That way we could take in more people and make sure we didn't eliminate someone that did not have to have that time span. So currently, your expungement, that's where you sit down with an attorney, we do the paperwork, that will happen in January. That way, you're not calling us saying, I've been waiting since May. We know it, so have we. But we did the May, we did the July expungement. As soon as we did the expungement, the bill passed in July. August, the governor signed it into effect. That made us have to wait a little longer. But it's a good thing because many of us, and hopefully if you need to know the law and all that it says, that's what this bill is. And you'll see that it was passed August 18th, and at the bottom on the back it says effective December 1st, 2017. So now we're doing our next expungement clinic in January. What will happen is you will be emailed and called to come back here to sit down with an attorney. One of the attorneys will be Attorney Parker, who is with us, but we will have 12 attorneys. The person pulling criminal records, one of them is here. Crystal, you want to raise your hand? Crystal is a part of that team that's pulling criminal records and matching you with an attorney. You will sit with that attorney, you will talk about your criminal records in a private facility, in a private room, one of these rooms in here. Urban League has been very nice to us. And you will then talk about what can be expunged. When that happens, one of the students that are doing the pulling the criminal records will fill out the paperwork for you with you there. You will sign it, the attorney will sign off on it. When the attorney signs off on it, normally we give it back to you and you take it to the courthouse. Well, that has changed. We're bringing the courthouse here. So the DA will be here in January to sign off on it, and the person that sends your record to Raleigh. His name is Mr. Troy Hubbard. He will be here to go over your paperwork to make sure everything is there so that he can take it to the courthouse, send it directly to Raleigh. When it gets to Raleigh, there'll be another kind of minor investigation with the FBI to make sure you don't have criminal records someplace else. And then they, in turn, once they approve it, you will get a letter. That letter is going to be important because that letter says your criminal record has been expunged. What that means is the lady in Raleigh, one lady, and we've been sending so many up there, I know she wants to jump on us, but that lady will then push the button that removes you from the system. When you're removed from the system, that removes both your criminal record and your picture. Because that's a big thing. People come in and they, you say you had your expungement, but then they can pull your picture up, and then that hurts you. So we're doing that. The only thing we can't do is we can't monitor the privatized companies that make money off of keeping your criminal record picture. So we're asking now and trying to get it where they will have litigation if they pull up the criminal record, or pull up your pictures, not your record, but your picture, once Raleigh has expunged it. And you will be expunged anywhere. That's what we're leading to, so you can get back to the things that you want to do in life and get back to making the kind of money you need to make. So meanwhile, there may come a situation where you're sitting with the attorney and they look at everything and it cannot be expunged for whatever reason. We have now what is called in North Carolina, Certificate of Relief. The Certificate of Relief does not expunge your criminal record, but what it does, it sets your criminal record aside so that you can get apartments, you can apply for jobs, you can get student loans, those kind of things. I had a person tell me one criminal record kept him from getting married because his girlfriend, they were dating, decided to pull his, just put him in the system, pulled his criminal record, found out he had a criminal record. Her parents said, don't marry him. So now we have to say you can get a job, you can get housing, you can get married if once we expunge your criminal record. So that's the process. That will happen in January. January, you will get an email, so make sure that you have updated your email. If you change email addresses with Taisha. Taisha, hold your hand up, please. She's in the back. Make sure if you changed anything that she knows. The phone number, make sure we have the phone number, because before we were just emailing. We will be emailing and calling. We tried it out today, and it works pretty well. So we will be emailing and calling you to let you know when to come in January. January is when the attorneys will be here. That attorney will be your attorney for expungement. That is not a cost. There's no cost for what we're doing here. The only cost you may incur will be when your records are filed at the courthouse. They may have a fee depending on whatever is on your record. However, we have an answer for that too. While you're here getting your criminal record expunged, I know it sounds like a game show, right? We got another thing for you. but while you're here getting your criminal record expunged, and you're talking with the attorney, and if they know what the fee will be for that offense, there's a form that you can fill out that says you cannot afford to pay that fee. You fill that form out along with your record. You take the whole thing to the court, and you will not be asked to file a fee. That make sense? Yes. Is there anything that I said thus far that's leaving you wondering what's going to go on?
I missed everything, so.
Oh, I'm not going to repeat everything again. Somebody, all these friends in here, somebody's going to tell you about it. I'm just joking. I get one of those? But with an attendant needs to give you, you have that? Okay, great. Yes, ma'am.
I need one of those papers. It's not.
Pardon?
We need one of those papers.
You need this bill here? Is there an attendant here?
We can make that available via electronically.
Okay, okay. Wait just a minute, don't fret.
And we have the
Freddie
video
has
too.
told us that first of all, he has the video. It will be on our COAMFO site.
That is correct.
And we will email you a copy of this sheet and the attorney's information. So you'll have that in email, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Freddie Romero. He's a Council of Elder member, and he just said it, and what he says, he does. So you'll get that. I can't tell you when. I don't know when he's going to get to it, but he will send this. And if you go to our site, which is www.coamfo.org, you will see all the things on the Council of Elders and on expungement, including this video that he's taking now. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
COAMFO.
I didn't get an email, I got the call.
You got the call.
Yeah, what is the email? It's not working.
Yeah, if the email, that's why we're doing emailing and calling now, because we want to make sure, some people change their email, it goes down or whatever, so we want to make sure that that's, yes, ma'am.
What if you don't have either a misdemeanor or a felony? What is the time frame for an expungement?
For if you don't have a misdemeanor or a felony, you shouldn't be here.
Right.
Driver license restoration. Driver license restoration.
If I may, I'll step in. I'm Brian Parker. I'm one of the attorneys that's been involved.
Thank you, Brian.
Hey, no problem. Again, because of the time and people, I won't discuss specific things or give legal advice, but one of the things that is if you have a case that was dismissed or not guilty, one of the things the new law is going to do is there's no longer going to be a limit on what you can get expunged with those, and you can get those expunged immediately as long as you don't have a felony.
And the other part of that, sometimes people think when the judge says dismissed, or you weren't charged, you think you don't have a criminal record.
Right.
But you do. Anytime you're arrested, you have to go to court, you have a criminal record. We all have criminal records. However, some of us may not have anything on our records yet, but they're waiting for a misstep. And that's all we need. So everything, but now, way in the back, we have a question.
Can murder, attempted murder, or rape, or sodomy, or
Good Lord.
can those charges be expunged?
For our purposes here,
I can't hear his answer.
For our purposes here, no. What we're gonna do with most of this here are non-violent offenses.
Pedophiles, we're not working with that. If it's murder, or if it's murder or rape, and let me tell you something, you put domestic violence in there too, so it is very hard. We do some expungement, and the person had domestic violence issue, but those are hard things to do, because that's part of mental health, behavior health. All of those are behavior health, and we have other ways of dealing with that, but not here. And the other thing is driving records. We will have a group here doing driver's license restoration. So if you called in for your criminal record and you also need driver's license restoration, that group will be here and we'll turn you over to them once we take care of you on your record side, okay? Now I saw someone over here and I see the young lady over here.
My question was that this felony's been over 25, 30 years. Can that be expunged? I mean, so long of a time?
We'll have to pull your criminal record. Is it in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County? Yes. Okay, it has to be pulled and the attorneys will have to look at it. So Crystal will probably be pulling it and helping read it. And then one of the attorneys, it may not be with Attorney Parker, it may be another one, but an attorney they match you with will go through that with you, because sometimes those older ones are the easiest to expunge because they're so old. They should have been off the record anyway, technically, but that's a system glitch that we have to work on. And I saw a young lady. Yes, ma'am, I see you.
Okay, I have a question here. I caught my charge in another state and county, in Dade County, Miami, Florida. Do I qualify for what they have going on for the Senate bill for 445?
No, that bill applies to North Carolina.
So what would happen with me being, I caught that in another almost 20 years ago.
Okay, but it was, the infraction was in another state, in Florida.
Yeah, the trafficking charge.
Okay, then you would have to call that state's clerk of court and find out what process you'd have to go through.
Yeah,
So that counts.
yeah,
Right,
as
so
a
more
state
than likely, if you're on our list for an expungement, then you will get a call or letter from us and telling you don't qualify. And if the don't qualify just means because it's not in this state.
But then no one ever told me I didn't qualify.
Right.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll check for that county.
Yeah, just check it, call the clerk of courts in that county and just ask them, what do you need to do for expungement?
Okay.
Sometimes you will find, especially if it's driving, you will find that it's already dropped off the books.
Yeah, but this
If you would
They're
like
still on there, okay. Well, then call them and tell them. Now, let me tell you something, this is
just to say for her specific, I know I didn't want to get specific circumstances, but just for you, one of my partners actually did some practice in that area. So
you want to seek me
I
out?
believe our information is out. So if you do have a question about it, I can only say that now because he used to work there. So
I have your
Work
card.
there.
Me after class.
Yeah,
No,
we're
I'm
good.
gonna give you the card now.
But that is a distinction that needs to be made. If, wherever your charge is, that's the county you're gonna have to go to get your expunction done.
Okay, someone over here, yes ma'am.
So back in 2004, I was wrongfully arrested for a sexual assault charge, right? So when it was time to go back to court, I got out on a written promise. But when I went back to court, it was dismissed, and then the warrant, they took a warrant out for the person they should have arrested. But it's still in my record.
Yes, still gonna be in review. You said it got dismissed, all right?
Yeah, it got dismissed
Yeah.
because they wrongfully arrested me, which they should have arrested the other person.
Yes, well, you still be, again, you're
So I
eligible
was
for that
defending
expunction.
myself.
Right, you're still eligible for that expunction again, and with the dismissal.
Okay, I just did that.
You just wanted to ask that. You just wanted to have us stand up here, try to figure out what's going on. Yes, sir. You have a young man over here and a young man here.
Somebody just asked me, a dismissal, whether it's a felony or a misdemeanor, if it was dismissed, it could disappear at the end of this process.
Dang.
Yeah, dismissals and not guilties, yes.
Yeah, because you still have a criminal record, so you've got to go through the process.
Can you expunge the dismissal?
But again, yeah, but again, those, the process, why it moves, you kind of do that sooner than later, because as we mentioned before, the process does take about 9 months to a year for it to get done, so you do kind of want to get those in sooner than later.
You have this young man here.
I had a felony years ago, but I had some dismissals after, so it would keep me from getting expunged to move forward.
For those,
As far as my felony,
we need to see a specific record to kind of know that. So again, once you're matched up, and once you pull your records and you're matched up, we'll be able to further intelligence.
Good afternoon, everyone. We won't spend too much time with introductions, but my name is Desmond Andrade, along with my partner here, Brian Parker. We're from the Freedman Law Group. We're right here in Charlotte, and we also have an office in Gaston. We are brought here today to talk about expunctions. We have 3 different sessions, as you all know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. And although we know each and every one of you have specific questions based upon your individual records, there's several reasons why we won't be able to go into too much detail in regards to each one. One being the time, as Ms. Macon stated, there are 300 people are supposed to be here today, give or take 100 at 1. 100 coming at 2 and 100 coming at 3. So we definitely appreciate the fact that you all have individualized questions. We will leave our individual information. You can contact us after today, but for today's purposes, kind of just be like broad information for all of you to know before we have our next point of contact. The thing that Marie wanted us to kind of talk about was the certificate of release or relief. The good thing with the new law is, like Maria said, it has kind of expanded who can get expunctions and the time, shorten the time in which you have to wait to get those expunctions. So that is positive. The legislator is hearing us. They're hearing that it's too demanding at this point. It's not giving you all or people with records the opportunities they need to progress and move forward. And the good thing is we're seeing changes. Even if you are not entitled to an expunction at this time based upon your personal record, as Maria stated, please continue to be active. Please continue to be vigilant. Please continue to make your voice heard, because as we've seen with this most recent law, they can make those changes. They can impact your everyday lives. They can impact someone you love. So there are going to be thousands and thousands of people who are going to be given expunction relief because that wait time has been reduced from 15 years to 10 years. And for misdemeanors, from 10 years to 5 years. So my point being, do not give up hope. If you are not eligible at this point in time, this is something that's completely dictated and governed by the legislator. So if you can't get expunction under the rules as they are now, please continue to make your voice heard with your local officials and your state officials, and hopefully working together we can make sure that everyone is able to get the relief they need in a more efficient and timely manner. With that being said, petitions for certificate of relief. This is obviously not as good as an expunction. An expunction is going to take it off your record, and only very few amount of people are going to be able to see it, right? Your law agencies, certain types of jobs that you work with children, they'll be able to see it. But other than that, you won't be able to see it. And that's the good thing about an expunction. You can walk into an interview and tell them, no, I have not been convicted of a criminal offense because it's been expunged. The certificate of relief, unfortunately, does not give you that same level of protection, but it does do several things. A lot of times with employers, the reasons why they don't hire you is not just that employers say, they're holding their nose up you because you have a criminal offense from 10 years or 15 years ago. A lot of times there's potential liabilities for employers if they hire someone for a criminal record. The person who has a criminal record does something, a criminal offense, and then a person, one of the patrons can then potentially sue the employer because that person had a criminal record. What a certificate of relief does is it protects the employer from being sued by an employee who has a criminal record. So you can bring this to your employer and say, look, I do have this conviction, but I have a certificate of relief. That gives them a certain level of comfort knowing you don't have to worry about me being a liability because you cannot be sued because of my criminal record because I've obtained a certificate of relief, right? Even with sometimes you're seeking to get housing, they bring up the criminal record. Certificate of relief helps in that regard as well. If you get the certificate of relief, it prevents them from being held liable for anything that may take place based upon your criminal record. So what the certificate of relief, from my opinion, what it does is it allows you another layer of protection to when you go to see an employer or seeking housing and say, hey, there's no concern about me, being producing liability to you because I have this certificate of relief, and therefore it protects you and allows you a lot more comfort when extending housing to me or when extending employment to me. So although obviously we are here to look at our possibilities to get expunction, please understand that certificate of relief can have some very valuable and practical implications in your everyday lives. So do not get discouraged if this go around you're not entitled to an expunction. Please consider the certificate of relief because it definitely can help you out or help someone that you know out until we make enough noise and rally for them to actually change and bring even more people in. Ms. Ellis?
We're gonna wrap up with this young lady right here, so patiently waited to ask her question. And when I say wrap up, I mean we're gonna have the next person come on, which would probably be Gary, which can answer a lot more of your questions. Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to clarify. So if you have a dismissal, and if you're not comfortable with the expungement,
If you have a dismissal, it's still a criminal record, you have to get it expunged.
Yeah.
And then it comes off your record.
Right.
So when you go to court and they say, okay, case is dismissed, you walk out of court and think you're through, but you have a criminal record.
The
That's
next
the
step
process.
should be working on getting that
Right.
expunged.
So you go through the process, and I think it was Sylvia that said, sometimes going to a lawyer and getting this done for expungement can be $750 to $2,500. And we're talking about going through the process and getting it done at no cost, other than whatever the court cost is. Okay? I'm going to bring on, because I think we've used up all your time. Am I bringing on Gary?
Yeah, we're gonna bring on Gary, and we're gonna again thank everybody for coming. And one group of people that we have not thanked today was our volunteers.
Yes.
We want to thank our volunteers, and we ask you all to make sure you get in touch with Taisha before you leave if you have any change of information, so we can keep in touch with you.
Yes.
And Gary McFadden,
Just Gary.
gonna close us out. Y'all know Gary.
Can we pass these out? I don't have many, 'cause, y'all done took all my cards. Yeah. All right, this is gonna be quick. I know y'all gonna try to dog me up here, but I've been getting dogged for a long time. But truly, we thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate it. When the council of elders started, I wanted to be a part of it because it's a lot of things that happened in Charlotte while I was here, still am here. I joined the police department in 1982, and they stuck me on West Boulevard, and that's on my new south side home, Dalton Village. Then they threw me in Earl Village a couple of times, and then they trying to kill me, then they put me on Oak Lawn, but I survived it all. And so, if anybody wants to invite me to your reunions, please do, because the only one I've come to is Dalton Village and Earl Village. Nobody else cares about me. But we're going to talk about our rights just for a few minutes.